Hi, I'm Carrie. One of my goals has been to spend more time in nature and spend more time traveling. So I've been trying to turn my car into kind of a getaway vehicle. Something I can camp in easily or work in on the road. So I made this video just to kind of share a bit of my process and some of the modifications I've made. This is definitely not an instructional video. This is just me using the tools I have and the basic skill set I have to make a few modifications to make it easier to camp in my car. There's a lot left to do, but let's get started. Here's my 2005 second generation Toyota Prius. It has about 200,000 miles, but it's still going strong. I'll start at the front and work my way back. I decided to get rid of that console that is usually between the seats, and I replaced it with these boards. I found that by doing so, it freed up precious space, and it makes it easier to climb into the back. Some flexibility is still required. When I took out the console, it left this open space that needed to be covered. To do that, I used this existing hardware here, and I kept the screws that the console used. And on the front board, I used these brackets that attach through there. On the back, I used these existing threaded holes. And I got longer bolts from the hardware store. I cut a couple of spacers to give clearance for this wire. Then the board fits over there. One of my favorite things about having the console gone is that I can sit stretched out with my legs across the seats and work on my laptop. The other thing I did was to take out my back seats. You might be asking, Carrie, why did you take out your back seats? You certainly don't need to do this in order to sleep inside a Prius. There's plenty of space, and you could keep the seats in and just fold them down. But I found it was more of a personal preference. I wanted to free up more space inside the interior, have more flexibility to move around, feel less claustrophobic. Eventually, I want to make more use of the potential storage that's available under here too. I cut the bench out of plywood, and I kept this existing hardware here, and that's where the backrest, and then I added spacers to make it level here, and I put some Velcro under the spacers to keep it from sliding around. You can see I added these handles to the board, and I put ratchet straps through there to keep it from flying around. These curtains cover up the hatchback storage area. I made them out of 2 pillowcases that I got from Goodwill and a dowel. I just cut holes in the corners of the pillowcases and ran the dowel through. Then I used a paracord just to attach it to the retractable shade. The bed platform comes apart into 2 pieces, so I'm able to store it in the hatch area. The headboard is supported by the seat with a strap. These are my window covers. This is not exactly stealth, and it has a strong baked potato vibe. I do like how I have this space open here, and I can change my clothes or get my shoes on. There's the bed platform in action. And I just move the retractable screen back a little bit to make room for my legs. So cozy. when the bed platform is in storage, I keep it here, and I use that head strap to go around this attachment point here to keep the whole thing from flying forward when I'm driving. And I also have this storage container here, which is also held in by a strap. I can loosen those straps and still access underneath the storage here. I wanted to be able to open the hatch from the inside, and the Prius, this model, has a manual hatch release that you can access if you take all these covers out. It's under here. A little lever, and I attached a piece of paracord to it, and I can thread that up through into the bed area. So if you pull on it and push against the door, you can get out. So that was pretty basic. There is a lot more I want to do. One is put some black fabric over my window covers, get a power station like a Jackery or a Blue Yeti, use that storage space that's under the seat, tint my windows, get rain guards. It goes on and on. But I wanted to start with what I have and to share my process now. In the future, tune in. I'll maybe, my next step is to do a trip report, and then I'll maybe get a better sense of what are some of the other changes I want to make as I go along. So thanks for watching. I hope you are finding adventure in whatever you're doing today.